birthday, Shin Dog. No pressure.
It's been a lot of years.
I talked to your lovely wife last night.
You see it?
Yes. And she's was in Wilmington, so she couldn't make it. She said, all right.
I'll see her tonight.
Okay.
She'll be here. God, buddy.
How's it feel?
Gotcha. How's it feel?
You look great.
Thanks.
Jeff, we got something here.
Happy birthday, Jeffy.
For your birthday. It, might not like this, but he's probably will. I took out a picture of him with Karen's hair.
The Shin Fairley. That's the Shin Fairley.
But for your birthday, we got the Tennessee football.
I love it.
So,
All right.
All right.
I can sign it for you. Is that okay?
Oh, that'd be perfect.
And then Chad's going to imitate you for the next 30 minutes.
That's my lady.
Happy birthday, Jeffrey.
This beats it all right here.
Everyone loves you, Jeff.
We need to sing for you.
Happy
Birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Jeff. Happy birthday to you. Come check out this cake, Jeff. Look at your cake, Jeff. Come look at your cake. This is a special custom cake for Jeff Shin.
Yeah, you gotta come around here.
If you haven't seen the cake, you gotta see the cake. The cake's awesome.
Four compliment candles on there.
Look at it.
Oh, the super ran dog.
I know you did. It's very inspiring.
Oops, behind you. Sorry, buddy.
All right. A different time.
Look good, Jeff.
Well, nothing's changed. We started back to love Jeff.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
See, Jeff, come up here, Jeff.
Oh, look, there's John.
Come up here. Sit in your chair, Jeff.
Go around and sit in your chair. Oh, no. Yeah, there's always some guy in the
So I
ladies.
see Mr. Hoppy,
Jason DePaul.
Richard Carl Hoppy. Have a seat.
Oh, God.
So, Jeff, do you feel loved?
I do.
I know you do. I'll tell you, for those of you that don't know, so today is April 5th, right, Mr. Hoppy? That it is. So I started at Hendrick BMW on April 19th, 2004. And one of the first people that I met was Mr. Shin.
All right.
And Jeff, and I've said this before, is one of our founding fathers of our run that we had for about 12 or 13 years. And the magic that was in the pre-owned department, that still is in the pre-owned department, but in that dumpy building up the street with the toaster oven that's never cleaned and the refrigerator that smelled and chicken wings.
Oh, yeah.
Let's not forget
Sticky
that
table.
purple pump for
That's
coffee.
right. But Jeff helped us build a dynasty. And he is, to this day, he is the most resilient, tenacious person I've ever worked with.
Yep.
And those are two, most people don't have both traits. They usually have one or the other, and he has both, and Steve will attest to it.
Yes.
And Jeff's probably the only person that stayed later at that pre-owned building to dig Hoppy. Right, Mr. Hoppy?
That's correct.
That's probably a record.
That's right. So I want to thank you on behalf of the dealership and appreciate all that you've done with us, for us, your friendship, and also great attitude, always optimistic. You made Steve, Chad, and Todd look like superstars.
Yep.
You helped get them promoted and grow through the company. And it's people like you that really are the essence of our company. So Jeff, I love that everybody came, everybody's excited to be here, and they want to celebrate with you. And hey, you've done a great job, you've had a great career, and I want to thank you. So, happy birthday, Jeff.
Happy birthday, Jeff.
Jeff is in the pre-owned building up there. Jeff was the first brick in the foundation of building, and y'all just came off a great month and all, and y'all would have never been able to have the great month that you had then if the foundation wasn't built a long time ago. And Mr. Hoppy and I would be up there right before Chad got up there, and it would be late at night. True story. Can't tell you how many times this happened. And Dick would be in his office doing his thing, and I was trying to figure out what I was doing wrong all during the day and fixing it at night and this and that and the other. And Jeff would leave like 4 times. He'd have his little bag and his coffee cup, that blue one you heated up all the time, remember that? And he'd like, and then I'd hear somebody beating on the door out front, okay? And I'd be like, oh, Dick would be like, oh, what is that? And we'd go out there and open the door. Jeff would catch a customer on the lot. Now I'm talking 9 o'clock at night, okay? I don't have a salesperson now that has a heart to do that. I don't know a salesperson who would do that. We would bring them back in and do a deal, and it'd be 11:30, it'd be finished over. But that was the foundation of building the camaraderie, everything. When Chad came up there right after that, and I remember, never forget, Chad came in and he's like, man, this team, we've got to build it and this and that. He said, man, Jeff's crazy. I said, yeah, but he's our crazy. Okay? He is our crazy, and we love him. And I mean, there's everybody, if you ever met Jeff, everybody knows Jeff. I remember being at Cliff's house in his pool 10, 12 years ago, and his daughter, who's now off in college, was like, Dad, do the Jeff Sheehan imitation again. I mean, my kids know Jeff Sheehan. My wife was so upset that she couldn't be here today. She's trying to change her doctor's appointment because, I mean, everybody loves Jeff. And I was thinking about Jeff coming to work this morning. We were in Canada about 10 years ago, okay? And we were leaving. Our flights were kind of late, you know, it was on a BMW trip. And Garla was coming through, and I think Sigma was on the trip, and Jeff had all his accessories. Okay. We're trying to get through, and his line was lined up, and Jeff, he took off one and one, and it beep, and he went back. And Garla's like, Jeff, why'd you have to put all that shit on this morning? You knew we were coming to the airport. And Jeff didn't say a word. He took it off. And it just went on. But I'm like, and I'm sitting back there with Aaron, and we were laughing. I'm like, man, I love Jeff. And on that same trip, we went on a horseback trip. And we got thousands of stories. But there was about 25 horses, 30 horses. Remember we did the little trail around, what was that?
That was, yeah.
Lake Louise.
Lake Louise, yeah, it was the
Louise.
same weekend that Skipper Beck had his plane crash. And Jeff had went over to the stables and looked, and they had all the horses' names on the back of their saddle. And there was a horse named Jeff. You remember that? Yes. And we all went over there, we gathered around there like, okay, so this is what we're going to do. You're going to get on your horse. You're going to, the whole time Jeff's back here, hey, I want Jeff on Jeff. Yes. And they were like,
rode in front of me the whole time.
Just calm down, hold on, you know, and they're like, no, I want that horse, I want that horse. And the instructors were like, calm this guy. I'm like, he's all right, that's our Jeff. But if we go on this trip around the lake, Jeff is going to be on, yeah. And you rode it. You had your boots on, remember that, Jeff?
Oh, yeah.
But anywhere Jeff goes, everybody knows Jeff. And he has a special thing about him. His customers, I mean, oh my God. I mean, Jeff would work deals, no lie. And I would be in the restroom at the pre-owned building, and Jeff would have him be in there with a customer so excited, he would slide the proposal under
The bathroom
and
too.
I'd be like, oh my God.
Oh, Lord. So we got to bring in a new generation.
That's right.
Chad, I know you got some crazy story. I mean, you could make fun, you could imitate Jeff there.
Well, it all comes from a place of love, because you do it because everybody knows you start with love.
Oh, yeah.
One of the two quick funny stories, as John mentioned, so I was interviewing up there, this was like November or December of 2004.
Yep.
And back in the day, you used to have these interviews that were like the gauntlet. So it'd start with John at 9, we'd interview everybody. And the last 2 people I ever met the first day were Steve Strickland and this crazy guy coming in working deals. And we're like having an interview, and he'd come in about every 30 seconds. Steve, how about it? Should we do that? What? And I'm like, man, what is going on here? And I left that night, and Kathy said, how'd it go? I said, good. Place is going to be awesome. There's just 2 people I know I hope I don't work with. Then I get promoted, and thank God I ended up working with them.
Oh, yeah.
And then the second funny story, and this is what I mean when you start from a place of love, the bathroom TO. So I'd be running across, Jeff had his office right there, and I'd be like, man, I gotta go to the bathroom really bad. And I'd be going across, and Jeff would be sitting right there, and his customer would be sitting here, and he'd be like, Jay, come say something, my lady. I'd be like, he'd be like, this here my lady, say something, my lady. I'd be like, hello, I'm Chad. He'd be like, here, this here's all. This here's Stacy. and no lie, she'd go, Emily. Jack goes, that's what I said.
We got 1,000 more.
Keep us going.
It was about 2 weeks ago. And I had about 11 cars. And, yeah. And John says, if you reach 18, I'll buy you a pair of shoes.
Oh, yes.
I did reach 18. John said,
We took a couple short
I
deals.
wish I'd have
for
said it
that.
harder, but I told Steve, you know, that really stayed tuned. But I never forget it. He took me to Neiman Marcus, bought me a pair of Ferragamos.
Well done.
Did it get you shoe trees?
Of course.
Shoe trees?
You have to have shoe trees, right?
Exactly.
We did our version of Pretty Woman.
It was a Saturday, Jeff. You were walking in behind your customer, and you knew you had a deal. Okay, and you were behind the lady. Okay, and you walked in, and looked over there by the glass, and you went like that. And her husband was back there. He just came in the office, and he's like, "Does that mean we just bought a car?" But Jeff would get so excited about, I mean, your energy, I mean, I can't tell you how, I mean, even when you would get pissed off in a sales meeting and take your 1 sheet of paper that you worked on in your lead pencil and go back to your office because you're mad at Jay, that was still good energy. It was still good energy. So, I mean, there's only one Jeff Sheehan. There's only one Jeff Sheehan.
Brian Porter taught me that. I still do that.
That's right, brother. Well, now he's the vice president of trade, Jeff. That worked. It actually worked.
So I have one quick funny story. It's not that funny, but so Jeff and I, we went to San Antonio, Texas,
Council
right? We went to a council meeting. Or it was sort of a meeting, but then it was also a little bit of a trip to the Hill Country in San Antonio. And so the first day they said, you know, you had to pick your event, right, Jeff? Mm-hmm. And so Jeff and I went, and it was Jeff's first time ever doing what, Jeff? Remember? We got Jeff's first massage.
Oh, yeah. I thought you were going to be telling about me taking
No. Jeff came out of the massage, and Jeff said he looked like he had seen God. And I took him down there, and he had his Tennessee tank top on and shorts, and he was looking good. And I actually got you something that let me hand you. I have a gift for you.
I thought you were going to tell about I took you to the Alamo.
We went to the Alamo, right, Jeff? And Jeff told me all about the Alamo, and I didn't know anything about the Alamo. They didn't teach me that in college or high school. So open that, Jeff. It's a little something. Very little, but something.
So, Elizabeth Rat Dad?
Vanessa.
Oh.
You
Take
got
it
a
out,
cool
pull it out, put it on.
It's a coonskin
It's a
hat.
coonskin hat. Right? Because Jeff, the whole time, you told me about Davy Crockett.
That's right. That's why our name, Tennessee Volunteers.
Put it on, let's see.
Oh, God. You
Come on.
Come
I
on,
mean,
Jeff.
you know, he misses that and it's.
She let me know I brought my 1875 coat.
Somebody say Cracker Barrel?
Is that where it came from?
All your deals like that.
That looks like the raccoon that lived on the bridge.
Jay Johnson can tell you that raccoon
That's
weighs
just
60
your mustache.
pounds.
That thing pinned me.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, God, that's not good.
Oh, definitely.
So Jeff, I just want to say that you're a true legend in your trade, and you know the days of the era of myself, Steve, Dick, you, Chad, Frank,
Jeannie Bowles.
Yeah, everybody, Jeannie Bowles. She was the,
Don't leave me out.
she kind of kept the glue together. But your colleagues, Jeff, as much as you had a target on your back because you did, and they used to pull pranks on you. And Frank, tell me what we used to do with this.
How much time do we have? Go ahead.
What'd you stick under his seat?
We taped a little Madagascar monkey to the bottom of the seat, so when he sat down, it'd say, "I like the movie."
Oh, yes. That's good.
With the customer in the office.
He would have customers and he would freak out. He'd be like looking around, he didn't know where it came from. But that was your team. But I'll tell you, Jeff, they did that out of love and out of they were very envious of you because you were always the top dog, and everyone was chasing you. But they made you a run of a few jokes, but it was all in good love. And I love having the opportunity to have worked with you all those years at BMW. So thanks for all that you brought, all the joy you brought us.
It would have never happened if I hadn't had all the support of these people in this room.
Well,
I
the,
mean, it started with a lot of, I never will forget, as long as I live.
well, it was selling what, John, when you got here, 30 pre-owned cars a month to Jim's story, what did 150?
I never know
153.
the time we reached something. Wow.
I remember when we told Jeff we were going to sell 100 pre-owned cars. Remember that?
Yeah.
He was like, really?
We get more people.
Right. But you know, when you look at a group of people, and I mean, I talk about this all the time, but the pre-owned team, even to this day, this pre-owned team, the pre-owned department is the backbone of a car dealership. It's the heart of the store because it's the only department in a dealership where every department, it touches every department. And so it's so important. And if you want to build a very successful, sustainable business, you have to do it through pre-owned. If you don't do it through the pre-owned department, it won't last. And so it's so neat to see everybody here. And David's here with his grandson that he was just telling me all the crazy stories about. And I haven't met you. You must be his son.
Yes, sir.
Okay. He told me that you can leave, but you got to leave him with him.
Yes, sir.
But you're in Columbia now, right?
Negative, sir. I go to Columbia next January. I'm at Fort Irwin. in
But you're
California.
coming to Fort.
Fort Jackson.
Yeah, that's
yes.
right. That's what David shared. So,
Yes.
So, first thing, thank you for your service, and thank you for doing what you do so we can do this.
Yes.
So that's number one. But number two is when you look at Jeff and everything that he's accomplished, and really we've all accomplished because of Jeff and people like Jeff. Then you look at David, right? So you have this generation of pre-owned department, you have the generation of the pre-owned department that's breaking record after record. But it all starts with people, and it starts with people with a common purpose. And so, Jeff, the thing that I love about you is your just eternal optimism. You have a can-do attitude. You always have had a can-do attitude. Even when we would have like, are you sure? You never gave up. But that's contagious. And you know, when Steve got promoted to be a general manager, then Todd, then Chad, then Cliff, when they are putting their teams together, they're looking for people like you. And every one of the stores that the guys here, the general managers, they have people that you can think in your head, okay, you're going to have a character like a Jeff that is contagious within the store that helps breed that synergy and that energy. So that's a gift. Not everybody has that. So once again, thank you for everything. Congratulations. And I think you have lunch here and dessert, so you probably want to get started eating. So it's probably cold now, but unless you, what would you like to say, Jeff? Anything?
I've said it. I mean, it's just, not a day goes by that I don't, you know, thank the Lord every day that I have the opportunity and I'm healthy enough to come in here and work. You don't know how valuable that is. Some of you do, some of you don't know that yet, but time is, time is very important. For the first time in my life, the most precious thing to me is time. And like I said, but I would not be standing here, and I've got, you know, Steve used to say my office looked like a museum. Because I got
You like trophies.
I got awarded all these things in the past, but the best part of everything is whenever when you leave is the memories. Because in the end, that's all you have is the memories. It doesn't matter about anything else. And I mean, like I said, I've had each one of you. You know, there's been experiences. Me and Mike Mara, me and, you know, Cam, and me and everything. I could go back and that's what I'll remember. You know. And then, like I said, that I got the opportunity. It's just like whenever I sold my first 4 cars, you know, and Rick was gonna, Mr. Hendrick was gonna cut my tie, because we used to have to wear ties. You guys don't remember that. We used to have to wear ties and things, but like he was gonna cut my tie, but it was a. He says, "Is that one of your favorite ties?" And I said, "Yes, sir. Cut it if you must." So, but I cannot give that one because it had Thunderbirds on it. So you know what he made me do? He called the general manager up at that time, which was John Fornshell, and right before you came, and one of the general sales managers, and they had on beautiful white starched shirts that had Hendrick on them. He made them turn around, and he took a magic marker and he wrote on both of them. And he said, "That's your tie. That's your tie." So you see, it's just things like that. And you know, it always made me want to do better each day. And I keep something that Karen used to send out. She used to send out a little greeting all day, and I've got one from 2013 that I keep. And it says, it's not a matter of being as good as you are today, but you know, it's basically it's being better tomorrow, trying to be better tomorrow. It's not how good you were today, but it's being better tomorrow. And that's what it is. You just have to each day take it one day at a time and be as good and being as aggressive. And it's fun. That's the other thing. You got to have fun. Because when the fun stops, you know, that's when it's time for you to decide to do something else. Because I just still get so excited whenever you make a sale. It's like a drug. It really is. Because it makes you feel to go through the whole process and to make the sale. It's great. There's nothing like it. You know,
Well, I remember one time, Jeff, one year you were the top salesman and Jay Johnson was top CSI guy. You know, and I went over to the place over here and said, "What do y'all have in leftover scraps that we can write on these little plastic statues or whatever?" And Chad will probably remember this. And we gave them out. Well, when we got back to the store, we saw Jeff over there. He put his right next to Jay's to see whose was the tallest. Remember that? Remember that? Because they were looking a little different, but he was like, that's how competitive. He's like, oh wow.
When you talk about having fun, I've never been a part of a department that had more fun than the pre-owned department at Hendrick.
Oh, Lord.
So,
It's not possible. It's not possible.
yeah, some of you all will remember this, but maybe
The
a lot of
skids.
you, yes, a lot of you won't. So back in the day, when we would do employee luncheons, we started doing employee luncheons, 15 years ago. And every year I'd sit with Karen in January and I'd be, I don't want to do this. I mean, she's like, what are you going to do? No. What's the theme going to be? I mean, after you do it for a long time. So I'm like, you know what? I'm not doing them anymore. What we're going to do is we're going to get each department is going to host a luncheon. And they have to come up with a theme and an activity.
Wrong.
And they have to educate people on what happened that month. Because I'm not doing them anymore, okay? You remember that? So we did it. So service did it, parts did it, everybody did it, so pre-owned does it. And unbeknownst to me, which I'm embarrassed that I wasn't aware of this, and I was very engaged, I promise, but for whatever reason, these two hoodooed me, and I had no idea what they did. But one time they did the Dukes of Hazzard.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, remember that, Jeff?
Oh, I do.
Legendary.
Legendary luncheon where they all were characters. Okay, so David Livingston, you would have loved it back then.
You were off that day.
Was I off?
Yes. You're
Okay.
right. Yes, you were right.
I remember the pictures, but then they did The Price is Right.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Steve and Chad dressed up as women.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Dick was
Bob Barker. It was the same day that Bob Barker was going off the air.
right. That's what it was. And then so anyway, they do the thing. They have the countdown, the wheel, the whole thing. And I'm sitting there, and the car comes in. They're like, "You won a new car." And I'm like,
Convertible Miata.
I'm like, "Yeah, they didn't
Yep,
give
green.
And I
Green.
remember, and I said, yeah, they didn't give away cars. They're like, no, we're really giving it away. I'm like, you can't give away a car. Like, yeah, we did.
Yeah, we did.
And I said, well, how much was that car? They're like, I don't know, $5,000, something like that. I mean, I just look back on that and I'm like, you what? You remember that? And you're like, oh, don't worry about it, John.
We'll pay for it.
We're gonna kill it this month. We'll pay for it. I'm like, okay, let's do it.
Yes.
The Dukes of Hazzard.
Yeah, we couldn't do that today.
No.
But back in the 40s
Chad was an
years,
ugly woman too.
Yeah, he was.
Chad, you were.
I didn't know how to get out
You're
of
a
a
good-looking
van
man,
and
but you're an
dress.
ugly woman. The dresses came from the Salvation Army because I got a rash or something.
I wish I could find those pictures. They're
What's that?
somewhere.
That'd be great. You took the Dukes of Hazzard cars to the auction then, with the horns on them.
Yep.
Oh,
We had a Lincoln
General
Town
Lee.
car with horns and a
Yep.
Ford Escort with
Yeah.
the 01 on the road. Fire.
We come storming in there.
They
Yeah,
crashed
Jeff-
into one
Jeff
another.
was a Roscoe
Jeff was
P.
Roscoe.
Coltrane.
Yes, yes, Boss
There's
Hog.
Boss Hog.
Boss Hog. I had a picture with Boss Hog. I
And
had it in my
Danner
desk
was even
forever.
involved.
Yeah, we had,
Danner, yeah. So-
Or Chad was Cooter.
Yeah.
Hayden
Yeah.
Cooter.
So, Jeff, would you like for everybody to sign this?
Please.
Okay, so if everybody, I wrote a bunch of Sharpies here somewhere. If everybody wants to sign that for Jeff.
So awesome.
And you remember this day.
Happy birthday, Jeff.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Jeffrey.
Does everybody remember who Reggie White was?
Yeah, football, yeah.
One of the
He
best
sold his wife
NFL
a car.
Right,
Yeah.
Jeff sold his wife a car. They used to live at the lake. And she walked in his office and he had all his Tennessee stuff and Reggie White went to Tennessee. And so when she left, she went home and came back and brought Jeff this whole Tennessee,
She brought me a basket
Yeah,
and the little thing that's on my desk now.
yeah,
yeah.
That
He
little
died in
desk.
practice.
Yeah.
He died, he played with the Cowboys. and it was-
Green Bay.
Green
No,
Bay.
no, he played Green Bay and the Panthers.
And
for me.
Philadelphia.
And then he passed away. But
Yeah.
like, he was that's Sarah, yeah. She was
Yeah.
great.
And she came in and she
Brought
told
me
Jeff,
all his
because I was
Tennessee
there,
stuff.
she said, Jeff, I want you to have this because I know that you will appreciate this way more than me because you know what all this is. You know? That's very nice.
That's a cool story.
We were having a sales contest, probably the first only sales contest like this in the history of Hendrick Automotive Group. If we hit a jack that was like, it was a crazy number, we were gonna get Jeff another Tennessee tattoo. Remember that? Because you got one on this arm, remember that?
Power
And we were gonna put Power T on this. And auditors would have loved that.
We used to do a lot of stuff.
We did. And you know what it's called? It all worked out. And you know what? I don't know anybody in the sales department that would have two office managers come to your birthday party. That's how much, you know,
Oh, I know.
accounting,
That's right.
Fran and Lisa are here
Unbelievable.
to
Couldn't miss
recognize
it.
you.
You're special.
Thank you. You are too.
and Jeannie and Sherry and
Yes.
Katie.
Sherry used to yell at him.
Honored to be
Yeah.
here.
No, you yelled at me. You would throw tags at me. Say, take this tag.
On the way in to the office.
And you'd be going like that with your finger. I said, get out of here.
Yelling at Frank too. Jeff was the only guy we didn't yell at for not using the CRM because your system was so intact with your.
And Frank would try to teach you how to
Frank
do
would
it.
try to help you.
How would that go, Frank?
But I'll tell you, all your colleagues, Jeff, everyone obviously loves you, but you're right, your customers really, I mean, we had customers coming, where's that crazy ass Jeff at? Everyone knew where to go, and, you know, when you bought a car from Jeff Shin, it was a whole different experience.
There was a car one time parked right out front of the front door at Pre-Owned, and Jeff was so excited he had a customer, it was a lady, and the car was backed up right here. And you know how Jeff's a close walker? You know, he was walking beside the lady. He pushed her into the car and she fell over. You remember that, Jeff? He ended up selling her a car, but he was just like so excited walking beside her. She bumped into the car and fell over.
How about
See
how
that?
about when I burst my tail trying to get here and hit somebody on that?
Yeah, Tennessee tag on your car.
Jump right back up.
Jay, you have anything you want to say?
Jay or Frank?
Oh, Jay.
You guys gotta have a story?
One.
One.
This is before we had CRM stuff, whatever. Well, anyway, I upped this guy on the lot, take him in, set him down at the desk. Jeff was out somewhere at lunch. He comes back, comes walking by and sees the guy. Hey, Jimmy! And the guy looks up at him and says, damn, I thought you were dead, Jeff.
How about you, Mr. Hoppy?
It was 2002, and this black T-bird pulls in.
Whose birthday was it that morning?
Huh? That I can't remember. I believe it was March. Didn't you start in March?
Yes,
February, March.
March 14th.
And he interviewed with Doug Weaver, who was the pre-owned manager at that time, and he left. And Doug goes, he talks too much. But he came, and the black T-bird. It was like, what was that movie? Where were you in '62? There was the mystery T-bird. It was like Jeff leaving. He came back, and he's still here.
How many times do we have to jump start that T-bird at night so he can get home?
Then we traded in another one, remember?
Right?
Yes.
It is a 1955 and a 05.
Yeah.
No, I have a 55 and an 02.
First,
Oh,
02, yeah.
I still have both.
Everybody knows that everything with Jeff is a celebration. He celebrates everything. And this happened just the other day. He had just sold a car, and I didn't know he'd sold a car. And he was walking by my desk. I said, hey, Jeff, how you doing, man? Nothing, I just got one in the box now. And got another guy coming. I mean, I swear, I'm probably going to sell another one tonight. I don't know. Well, if I don't say no one else. No, and you think they don't. You think we don't. We know who you are. We know who you are. I was blessed to hit Chairman's Club, right? And Jeff was the first one to come to me and say, man, you deserve it. Man, you deserve it. And so the next day he comes down and he's got on his Chairman's Club ring. and he's got it on. He said, you see that? That's the Super Bowl ring. That's what you get for the Super Bowl. Now, look close now. Come here, look close. If you look around that, there's diamonds on it. Now, see, you get the ring for the first year. But then every year after that, you get a diamond to go around that thing. But I got it so much, they put one slap dab on the top of it. So, Jeff, I love you. I love you, and happy birthday.
Jim's got his.
Yeah, we got him, and he was the first one. We went out to a dinner. We had a great month, and we went out to what was the name of the restaurant we went to? Del Frisco. And I said, let me take a picture with Jeff. And this was after I'd won Chairman's Club. I hadn't got my ring yet. And he says, David, where's your Super Bowl ring? I said, I hadn't gotten it, Jeff, yet. I haven't gotten it yet. He said, put it on and take a picture with me. That meant something. That meant something. Thank you so much.
He lost you.
No, I got to.
That is
I should have worn it.
Can't make that
How
up.
about you, Brian? You got anything to say?
I just, I mean, you taught me everything I know. That's the whole reason I'm in my position because of you. I mean, we know that ever since day one. But I've always admired you. You always put a smile on everybody's face. And I know working deals with you and all the stories just keep bringing back all kinds of memories. But you're truly a class individual. You always are energetic and can totally change the entire vibe of the department on any given day. I've always respected you for that. You always have a will to win, which is deep in the thread of what Hendrick does on a daily basis when we talk about competition. And I've always admired the time that you grow all of the people in the department and all the people that you've touched in this room. I mean, you have a definite lasting impact on them, and that's something special. People don't always have that ability to make that indelible mark on people, and you certainly have. For everyone to take the time to come out and be here with you today should be a testament to you and what you've done for the company and the type of person that you are. So I'm just humbled to be part of that, humbled to be asked to be here with you today and celebrate all of your victories and the type of person that you are. So congratulations on yet again another birthday of 70, another milestone. You're all about records, and keep going. I hope you get
Yes,
there.
sir.
I don't know.
Hell yeah.
Because he's been retiring for 20 years.
Yeah. You know,
Everybody loves you.
you know what Jeff did before he got in the car business? Does anybody know?
State Farm.
Insurance
State
agent.
Farm.
Every deal with Jeff starts off the same. He comes over all excited, all fired up. You know, I've got a really good customer, real good customer, real good customer, right? And this morning we were talking a little bit, and you know, he's at 2,208 cars delivered. You know, there's some more, but some came back. We let people return them. You know, things of that nature. But so you know, I said, Jeff, out of those 2,208, like how many don't you really how many didn't you really jive with? He's like, I think there were probably 4 or 5 out of 2,200. So you know, he takes it harder than anybody when a deal doesn't work out, and he gets more excited than anybody when one does, and it's contagious. He's always wrapping his arm around the new guy, and myself included. My first go around down here, you showed me a lot, and I appreciate it. I still do.
Cool. You the man, Jeff.
2,200. 2,308.
Oh, at 2,500, you gotta do something special.
Oh, Jeff.
You gotta get it.
2,500. As of Monday.
As of Monday.
All right.
Well, John always liked me. Thanks, everybody.
You're welcome, Jeff. Happy
Happy birthday.